Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, fellow aviators. So in today's video for the F-15E, I will be going over how to take off, land, and how to air brake with it. And I hope that this tutorial will be a great source of information for anyone that's having troubles with at least the landing portion for the F-15E. If you're a veteran if you're a veteran of DCS that comes from flying the Hornet and you're interested in flying the F-15E, this is going to look a little bit different uh, because I like to say that the 18 and the 14 can basically land themselves with the on-speed AOA capability that they have. So let's start off here. So we're going to turn off our brake hold, and then we're going to hold down our takeoff trim to ensure that we are in takeoff trim. To know we're in takeoff trim, once you hold this down, if you're not in it initially, you won't hear anything, and then if you continue holding it, uh, Betty will come on and she'll she'll start giving you warnings and stuff. That just means that you're in takeoff trim. Uh, Make sure your flaps are down. So we'll go, yep, flaps are down, and we'll go ahead and get rolling here. For takeoff, I like to have my nav lights on just to indicate to other pilots in the airspace that I am taking off or I'm approaching the runway. Please don't hit me. And that's mainly just for uh, gameplay. All right, so we'll go ahead and line up center line here. And for today's tutorial, I'll just do a brake hold takeoff. So we'll do shift in. All right, and stand by. Okay. All right. All right, so we'll do brake hold. So, and then as well as good thing to note here. So for the F-15E, the nose wheel, the 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 nose wheel steering is on by default. So for takeoff, I highly recommend you to disable that. And the way you disable it is by holding down the paddle switch on your stick, and that will disable the nose wheel steering. And you're just gonna hold this down for the entirety of the takeoff sequence down the runway, and yeah. All right, so brakes are on, max throttle, and release. All right, so at 120 knots, we're going to bring our stick half back, and then now we're up. That was a little bit fast, but that's just because we're light today. We only have 50% fuel on with no armaments. But yeah, on takeoff, you're going to bring the stick half back, not full back, because if you do full back, it's going to come up fast, and you're not going to be able to control it in time to stop yourself. All right, so let me go ahead and turn on my radar altitudes. All right, so right ahead, left clear. All right, so we're on the downwind of the airfield now, or sorry, of the runway. So, basically, for any of you casual pilots out there, we're just when you're near the airfield, go ahead and just slow down to 250 knots or less. Um, and this will get you this will make it to where you're not exceeding your max airspeed for landing configuration. So once we're below 150 knots, we'll go ahead and do gear out and flaps down. Okay. All right. Now once the beginning of the runway is at our wingtip, we'll go ahead and turn in for final. We're, we're a pretty fast aircraft, so I don't think we need to stay on base for a very long time. We had to stay on it for a little bit, so we'll go ahead and turn final now. All right, so now once we're turning on to final, what we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking at our velocity vector, and our velocity vector needs to be, so we're a little bit high. So our velocity vector needs to be at the -3 degrees attitude, and it needs to be at the beginning of the runway. That basically tells us that we're on a perfect 3-degree glide slope for the runway. And our alpha, which is under our airspeed indicator, needs to be 20 degrees. If we're 20 degrees on a 3-degree glide slope, that's basically like the perfect attitude for us for coming in. And you can use a little bit of trim to make it to where you don't have to you don't have to fight the aircraft to keep it where you want to. So we're a little bit high, so do that. All right, so now once we're about 100 feet off from the ground, we're gonna flare, and we're gonna have our air brake come out at the same time. All right, now our main gear is down, so we're gonna bring our nose up to close to the 15-degree mark, not past it, because you'll tail strike. And that W that you see, that's your nose indicator. When that's flashing, that means that you're getting their max effective aerobraking. So you're gonna, and now we're under 100 knots. So we're gonna bring the nose down, and we're gonna keep the stick aft because we want the air brake and the elevators up. Those elevators, when they're up, they'll give us more aerodynamic braking. And there you have it. That is how you land an air brake. And just to go over if I missed it, um, when the nose come when that nose starts to come down, you can then get onto your main wheel brakes, so you can just get on those entirely. And the F-15 will automatically have its anti-collision, or sorry, it's what do you call it? The anti-skid on. So yeah, and that is how you take off, land, and air brake with the F-15E. I hope this tutorial was helpful to any of you who have been struggling, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.